this Monday morning, and the builder just walked off the job. He had this huge tantrum. He had this big fight with Guido, and I went down to try and mediate, and he calmed down a bit, but then I was in tears, and then he got mad again, and he just stormed off. And all because he was being paid by the hour, which is how we've always paid him. He rocked up this morning just saying he wanted to be paid a fixed price, and so Guido said he wanted this horrendously high price, and then Guido said, fine, okay, we'll pay it. And he still got angry, and we're just in shock. I just can't believe, I don't even know I don't know how someone could do something like this. It's just so unprofessional. Guido's still quite angry, as am I.
I woke up 400 times thinking about the situation. I wrote to the lawyer, and I don't know. Hopefully, Mauro is coming this weekend to see if he can do
But it's a 2-hour car trip, so it's a big thing for him to come. And here
he said, I'll just come and see, but if he comes and sees, there's hope.
And we said we'll host him, we'll cook for him, we'll do everything. We told him to bring his family. Here, this is the part that angers you the most, is that he's left this floor.
We had this fight, okay, they say that we at this point, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong, but definitely he's wrong in leaving a floor like this. You can't open up a floor and leave it like this because it's dangerous. He didn't even close you can't do that. He should have said, okay, fuck off, I hate you, I won't work with you anymore. But he already had the material and a person that could help. He could have, and that was the plan. He had to do the reinforcement on the pavement, and that's it. And then go away. But that's you can be mad at someone and say, okay, I don't want to.
No, it's like in the height of the fury, you were furious at him. He just decided to walk out, and you still rushed upstairs to get him cash to pay him for the work he did last week, even though you were mad because you're a decent person, no?
Because also, if you interrupt a situation, you can't. There are phases you have to pay the work that has been done, and you can't leave a floor like this. Because if we had at least the base of the floor, I could go in, I could clean up this is dangerous. Now, obviously, we're not stupid, and luckily we don't have kids yet that could go inside and go through the floor, but.
No, but this timber is like rotten and like placed 100 years ago.
This timber is not sufficient like this. When you put the cement, la rete retrosaldata col cemento e tutto va benissimo.
And then we can't walk.
That's the day. We
can't walk underneath all of the rooms underneath here.
The room underneath, obviously, is not usable. And that what he should have said. I hate you, fuck off, whatever. But I think I'll do this floor. He was already. I don't think he went working somewhere else yesterday. So I don't know. I'm also mad at the other, come si dice, impresario, that's the one of the chicken coop, because yes, it slowed down. Maybe some part is even my fault and everything, but now we're ready to go. It's 3 months, we're ready to go, and nothing is happening. So what do I think? What should I?
And he's the same one that was supposed to do the job on the pool. No?
I don't know. He came last week and gave me a partial quote, and I said, okay, give me a full one, and he said, I'll give it to you in the weekend, and he's not done it yet.
Yeah,
and I asked him, please come and see this floor because I'm in the mud up to my neck, and he didn't come.
Hello.
Previously on Renovating a Ruin. He's here finally, and I feel just so optimistic. Even Guido said yesterday, he said, I think this is actually going to happen. And there have been so many obstacles, and now it just feels like it might actually happen before this baby comes. If you want to know, this is the reality, if you want to know what it's like to renovate a house in Italy, this is the honest experience. People are always saying to me, oh, what about these €1 homes in Italy that I've heard about? And sure, you can get the property, but the hardest part will be getting the works done. And so where do we start?
Finally, after 10 months, the builder with which I always did works in the house here came finally after 10 months that we were come si dice, corteggiandolo.
Yeah, courting him.
Yeah, please come, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
And we said, you name your price, you name when, and it was all because, and if you think, oh, you shouldn't have done that, but this is what you have to do because there's just such a shortage of...
Yeah. And I always work with him or by hour, so an hourly fee, or with quotes. And in this case, there are so many little things, big and little things that need to be done. And I just said that we would have done the job as always done in the past with by hour. So it can be more expensive, but I trusted the person, knowing that he works well, and if he needs 2 hours more to do a detail of a stone or whatever, who cares? Take your time, and it will be paid. But since last Wednesday, when he finally came, I felt that he wasn't, I don't know, happy with that or whatever. But he started the job, as you can see. He will show what is the state now. And what happened is that this morning, so Monday, we went back to Florence and came back here yesterday night on purpose to be here for the works and everything. He came with a quote and said, okay, this is the quote for this part of the job, for the bathroom. If you're not accepting it, I'll just go away.
This is after he's already started the job.
Yeah, this is after doing 3 days of work.
And
assuming that they were, as we said, by hour, and that's it. I got really quite disappointed, and
but already on Friday there was a big. I mean, you guys were shouting, and then you managed, fortunately, to sort through it. But then this morning I was just in the bedroom and I heard this shouting, and Guido never shouts ever, basically. You're very...
Sometimes, but I try not to.
Yeah, but you're not someone who easily, especially with tradesmen, you know, like you don't, it's not your style. And I knew something was definitely wrong if Guido was shouting, and I could hear this builder shouting at him, and I
know that he had to be in our house for a month and a half, so you don't start with a fight with someone that will be in your house and that you trust. So
exactly.
This quote that he wrote me, I honestly think it's high, but I don't know now that the works are so expensive in Italy. Then I'll explain why. And I accepted the quote.
Yeah.
And but I was disappointed, and he said, no, but you have to accept it and be happy with it. And in the end, he just went away because I wasn't, I don't know, he behaved like a child. So
basically, we said back last year in October, if you haven't got time for this job, or if it's not a good enough job for you, if you can get paid more elsewhere, whatever, then don't take it. No. And he said he would. So And we said, you say how much, you say when, you say how you want to do it, whether he said, I want to keep doing other jobs and do only a little bit here, a little bit there. And he's always been paid by the hour, so that's how he wanted, so that if it became a really super involved thing that he couldn't have forecast, he would always be paid for every single hour. And then he also charges, puts in more, and you said it doesn't matter if he counts, says that he's done 9 hours and actually he's only done 5, who cares? So, you make all these allowances, and then you are working alongside him too, because he didn't have an assistant. So, even Guido's down there, just helping him out. And then I heard all this shouting, and when you have, I don't know, someone shouting at your loved one, and it feels so horrible. And I thought, I just felt so sorry for Guido being, because he was just being really, really rude to you. And so I went down, and I've never done this before, but I went down just to mediate, or at least defend Guido. I said, look, just explain to me what is the problem here. You agreed to do the job with the rate that you said and the date you said per hour. Then you come to us and give us an ultimatum and say, no, it needs to be a fixed price. So Guido says this morning, okay, fine. We acquiesce to everything that he demands. And I was crying because I was just trying to explain to him, and you feel a sense of betrayal because you wait,
and then you've been like waiting for this work. It's a year that we are waiting, and you were finally thinking that would have happened, and you were disappointed, and that's.
No, it's sad because you think you trust someone, and he's done so many works for you, and you always accommodate him. The problem is that now, you explain.
The problem is the following thing, that in Italy we have all two things that have spoiled and messed up the market of works. One is that they've introduced this thing that's called, probably it's boring, but whatever.
No.
It's called the reddito di cittadinanza. So it's just by being a citizen, if you don't work, you get money. There should be a mechanism in which if you don't accept the job, you lose that money, but things don't work in Italy. So it's
welfare, basically.
Yeah, but it's a welfare, like you don't want to work, whatever, you just get this money. So in Italy now we're having enormous problems in finding waiters, cooks, helps for builders and everyone, because why someone should go and work for 1,500 euro a month in a restaurant or whatever if they can get 700-800 euros staying at home.
But I mean, in this case, it's not.
If he works in full 8 hours a day, working by hour, he gets between 3,500 4,000 euro a month. So that's not bad.
That's not bad. Is it? I mean,
no.
It's much more than I make. It's more than you make, and so
I'm ironic.
And it's hard work. I mean, doing tradesmen work very hard, and it's tough, especially with this heat and everything. They deserve to be paid well, but the problem is now is.
There were all the bonuses that have been introduced, in which you can theoretically redo a house, restore a house, and get back the money from the state for all of it. This has dragged the market, in which everybody is asking crazy amounts for every job. So
he doesn't have lots of employees. He doesn't have employees. He doesn't have employees. He doesn't have all the equipment. So Guido is using his equipment and also using your manpower to help. But it wasn't just the bathroom. There was the bathroom, the kitchen, putting heating throughout the entire house, putting in the stove. There's basically like 3 months of work. That we were saying, you name your price, and no, lui era stato qua diverse volte, to see all the projects.
Il piano di Sarafiche.
Yeah, he had been here so many times to see the situation. So it wasn't like, suddenly the project blew up and it wasn't what he thought it would be. He's been so many times.
But we haven't got a floor now.
He even changed the terms, and we even agreed to the change in terms, even though it's completely.
That's the thing that every time I forget.
I
said, yes, okay, fine.
This
is what your price, and he got offended because he wanted to use a thing of the farm to build the cement, and I just said to Egisto, if I'm paying like full quote and everything, that means that is also your equipment, not mine, because there's also responsibility in using equipment of other people and stuff like that. He heard that and he got offended and went away. So
maybe this happens also in Australia. I don't know. I've not, my father has always done all the work in our houses, so we've never dealt with tradesmen. But I know, I just think that the work ethic in a lot of places in Italy is just non-existent.
So to summarize, first of all, I'm pissed off. We are both pissed off, but there's no hate for anyone. There's no reason to hate anyone. Otherwise, I'm angry, obviously.
Yeah, and actually,
I'm angry with the situation.
Yeah.
So the main lesson is that whatever you do, you have to write down everything. You have to.
Posso interrompere? I'm sorry, but I don't agree, because I had a contract. I spent months with Patrick when I did a TV show all throughout Italy, and I was with an Italian production company. Sorry if you've already heard this story, but I worked for months. I employed a lawyer to make sure they looked over it. I got lawyers, entertainment lawyers from LA to look over it, and just, it was so airtight. I changed all the clauses so that I would be super protected, and then that show, sold into all over the world. And I was the producer, I was the presenter, I was the one who, I worked for 2 years to make that TV show. And the production company, they didn't pay me, and they didn't pay Patrick, and they wouldn't even. I had a clause in there saying you must send us for transparency of how much of the show is making, and when it is sold to a TV network, it was sold to everyone all over the world.
The main problem is that if you sue them, you won't get anything back.
Exactly. No, people say to you in Italy, it doesn't matter what the contract is. You can't take someone to court because they say
you can,
but you'll be in court for 20 years.
There are three gradi di giudizio, and the average to get to the last is at least 12-15 years. And in between, they can always say, I won't pay you. So also if you win the first, second, and the last grade, and then you will have to sue them with the judgment sentence to get back the money. So in many cases, you don't do contracts. So if you do contracts and they're not respected, you just go. So that's why I was confident on knowing the person, and the contract was our word. And that is the. But it's not just us. Like even Egisto, who's how old is he? Like 80 something,
82, 83, and Egisto and Eva, who many of you have seen, they're caretakers here on the farm, and he was recounting the same thing. I mean, he was born and bred here, and he said the people of the area, the same
people of the village that probably he even knew.
Yeah, he's a good man, and how can you?
And they quoted him like €2,000 at the beginning, and then the job was 9,000.
2,000 to 9,000, and I think
nearly 9,000.
And he said then they were laughing at it, and they were also trying to at the same time make more money off the mistakes that they made. They went in to do works on the bathroom thing. They made the situation worse, and then charged to go from 2,000 to 9,000 to do that to basically pensioners. I just, where is their decency? Where is their I don't understand. And then point on. I don't know.
Guys, if you are builders or whatever, plumbers, electricians, come in Italy. There's lots of work to do.
Yeah. And you might say, why don't you do it yourselves? But legally, we're not allowed to. You have to.
And then I don't know how to put down tiles.
Yeah, but I have before. I've tiled a whole restaurant, actually. Do you know
Yes,
that?
but do you know how to do that?
No, I don't know. No, I don't know how to do those things. But my father does, but he wouldn't be able to do it legally. Like they could put a lock on the house and shut the whole residence, the whole farm down, because if you have,
I could employ him.
No, but the problem is, why Italy? You should be employing Italians. There are so many Italians here, disoccupati, unemployed. People are going.
Che stanno a casa col reddito di cittadinanza. That's we're going back to
the welfare thing.
I have to add here that obviously there are many people who are in genuine difficulty and truly need and deserve government financial aid. But we're talking about young, healthy 20-year-olds living at home with their parents who would rather scroll social media than get up and learn how to be a builder in a market where there is so much money to be made.
They're all complaining and like unhappy and stuff. If there is work, a lot of work to be done everywhere. Many.
But there's not that. Manca la voglia di lavorare. Cioè, there's no.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Oh! I'm reading this book, and the point is that all these people that are not working feel that. I don't know. It's diminishing doing probably a job like a builder or.
But they make more than someone who has been to university, has a degree, and works in an office and primary school.
Employed person in a company. Also, the high levels will never get 4,000 a month.
No, never. I mean, in Italy, 4,000 a month is insane. I mean, it's not. It's just the wages are super low. You're taxed so much. It's like, so there's, I never say anything bad about Italy ever, but now it's getting to the point where it's sad because I feel sad for Italy. It's not just I see it happening with other people. And Guido talked this morning because he was furious. He was just calling everyone and trying to get advice. And he talked to this friend
colleague,
who has a building company, and in Florence, and he said, "Well, you la racconti te, amore. You tell it."
Okay.
No,
it's a red wine with this heat is like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and he
no, I'll tell it.
Basta, you drink, my love. I'll narrate. You drink, but no, it's
that he has a construction company.
Yeah.
And he's looking for. He needs workmen, and he finds also this Italian young. Man and you have to train them, you have to do the security course, you have to do all the bunch of things to start them, and then after 3 days they stop and say no, but this is not, it's too much work, it's not worthwhile, just stay home and get this welfare money. And that's a drama because they are this system.
May I have some water, please? Sorry.
Yes, this system. Facciamo pubblicità all'acqua.
No, perché questa non è l'acqua che beviamo di solito.
Ma ora vi piace questa.
Sì, sorry.
And so the point is that I don't know how to explain it properly, but we are losing with probably also all the social media thing, all this thing that you have to be better and everything. We're losing the pleasure of doing our job, being paid for it, and that's it. Just doing your job and doing it well, and be paid for what you do, and
yeah, but I think there's
fairly paid for what you do.
Yeah. The truth is though that I remember it also when I was filming a TV show, and we were in Sicily, and the cameraman at a certain point they just had a protest, and they weren't mad at me, they were mad at the production company that was the same ones that didn't pay me, but
probably they wouldn't be paying too.
No, they were the only ones who were paid. But in the middle of the job, there are 13 episodes in the middle of Sicily, we're filming and everything, we paid all to get everyone out there, I found all the accommodation, the catering, everything else, and suddenly they're like, oh no, we want to be paid more. I don't understand. I mean, what is taught in Italian schools that you can suddenly, if you want to be paid more, you negotiate this at the point before you begin the job when you're discussing the terms. I mean, I would never, with a client, suddenly say, I've found myself many times as a freelancer, oh my gosh, this is taking so much longer than I thought. But it's my fault.
You can say in the middle, say, look, I'm taking more. Is it okay if we...
You can't say it in the middle of a shoot. They're suddenly going on strike and saying, oh no, we don't want to. It was embarrassing. I just thought, how can this country work like this, that people suddenly...
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. For example, when people are at university here, they all seem to just focus on university and that's it. In Australia, at least in my experience, everyone's eager to get a part-time job. I worked even through high school, I had a part-time job always because I couldn't... Wait, I didn't...
Unfortunately, in Italy, it doesn't work like that, because probably there's also probably a social, cultural and social thing in which the son and daughters of a working class, when they go to university, the parents have struggled so much to send the children to university that if they end up doing the same job, is like not gaining a social advance or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to seem wrong in saying this, but
I mean, my sister still has a HEX debt, which Australians will know, because Australians, you take that debt of university into your career, and then slowly over the years you pay it off. And
university is public university is so cheap that you don't need a...
No, but you're saying if the parents have struggled to send their child to university, is it because of the cost, or
but to have someone that up to 24 doesn't work, so that's the cost.
Yeah. But then that begs the question, what effect does it have on a society when most people arrive at 24 years of age having never held down a job that they need in order to eat and put a roof over their head? I can't help but consider this kind of pressure when you're a young person a really valuable life lesson. And sure, you come home many nights and your legs are tired, you're exhausted, you're angry because your boss has been unfair or hasn't paid you, or just because you hate your job. But still, you're learning so much. Since I was 15, I've worked so many different jobs. Some were boring, some were dirty, hard labor. Many were beneath my skill set and experience and completely unrelated to my degree. Many poorly paid, and some were unpaid because I was hungry for knowledge. But they all gave me a sense of purpose, taught me discipline, patience, a sense of empowerment, even if it wasn't my passion, because I was able to live my entire adult life without help from my family and always sharing the rent and bills with any partner I lived with. Now, this doesn't make me special by any means. I'm sure most of you watching this have lived similar experiences and accomplished even more by doing it with children. But it's certainly a cultural difference that conflicts with my values. Or perhaps these days it's also a generational mindset of entitlement and impatience that exists everywhere. What's it like in your country?
In Italian, the subculture is that if you do that and work for little money, you're... non sei furbo, sei un idiota, because there are shortcuts to get money and not work. That's
yeah, I know.
That's because there are many people that live like that and also breaking laws and stuff like that, and are unpunished. So who really works? Seeing that the system, that there are other people that live from being, come si dice, furbo.
Yeah, cunning,
by being...
yeah, cheating the system, basically,
by not really earning what you get.
Yeah.
An Italian guy that is 16 will have the friend that is 16 with a nice phone and being on the beach with nice sunglasses and maybe a pretty girl living out of the money of the parents or however escamotage they find, and the one that is washing dishes behind the counter is an idiot.
See, but surely there's a certain... I understand it's hard work, and you have to work so many hours, and then you want to be out partying, whatever, but for me, there was just such a, I couldn't wait to be independent, and I would never think of asking my parents for money. So how can these guys, like if you're a young guy and you're 19 years old, I mean, do you really want to go and ask your father if he can pay for a movie ticket to take a girl out on a date?
Like, he will do that. The average age of Italians going out from home is very high.
I know. yeah. No, and to be honest, I mean, we have to say that this is not all Italians, obviously, but...
No, se siete italiani non vi offendete, perché se no la verità è che qui non si riesce a trovare nessuno che vuole lavorare per quello che fa e guadagnare onestamente quello che fa, punto. Se poi non ti piace quel lavoro è giusto, puoi cambiarlo tutto, ma se fai quel lavoro lì fallo and enjoy what you do, because I see by working with the builder last week, in 3 days we've done something.
Yeah.
And I saw how things would have changed and how we would have done the bathroom and everything. And I'm sure that if I participated to that job and he still worked for us, I would have been so gratified in seeing that hard work brings to a result and brings you the satisfaction of doing something beautiful.
People are just not everyone. I mean, there's people who work very hard.
I'm sure that this comes from a general non-happiness or insatisfaction that derives from also what you see on social media and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that before you were doing your job and your neighbors were doing their own job, and you were in a certain system that everybody was there and was doing what they were doing, and they were sort of happy with it. Now, whatever you do, you always have the comparison of something better, something easier, something more that you can earn more, something that...
But there's nothing wrong with ambition. Everyone has the right to be able to change their situation, to do a different career than their family have done. But if they expect it to just be easy and come to them, there's this entitlement that I just think, I don't know, like, is no one prepared to put in time? They want everything straight away. And construction, it's a lot more, I mean, you need people with real, true experience and expertise, and this builder had it, and he did very beautiful work.
And you could learn very good skills from someone like that.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, this isn't
it's not a basic job.
It's not a basic job. It's not a demeaning job. It's a job that is respected because so many people, they've got so much work. But I think you say that this bonus has just made everyone arrogant, you know? Is that...
Arrogant. They always know that they could get a job that is paid better, and everybody is doing...
See, but at a certain point they have to say, why say yes to a job if you don't have the intention to carry through? That's what annoys me, because I said to him, you have the right to choose whatever jobs you want and whatever price, but if you start something, you make a promise to someone. It's just not decent to just have a tantrum and walk out. And a tantrum,
especially if you said, especially if I said after 5 minutes of tantrum, I said, okay, fine, let's go on like this.
Yeah.
In Italy, can't think, okay, I'll buy a house and then in 6 months I'll do the works and rent it out because I'll pay back the money.
No.
You have to have the money to buy it and restore it. Don't rely your budget on timing and maybe renting something out, because that is impossible.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that we don't need heating for another 6 months. Hopefully we will have heating in 6 months. I hope.
Guido just had this other example of a friend who said there was a construction project for €1 million.
Yeah, it's a villa in the countryside that this person inherited, and finally he could manage to do this renovation, and he sold something to pay this renovation, and he waited 1.5 years for this construction company to come, and they just at the last moment backed up. So now he's doing it with his old
for a €1 million job. But where are they going? I mean, or are they just getting greedy and taking on multiple jobs and then they can't manage their time? Like how do you? I don't know. I mean, you could say, okay, our job is little, but €1 million job, that's
surely. Obviously, I've called everyone every time I speak with someone that I know that is involved in these things. How do you have a builder, or how do you dealing? And the answer is always, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. So it's unfortunately this is the fault of these policies that have been completely mistaken and created a distortion in the building market and in the work market, and so now we are stuck in this. And
on the other side, though, I mean, it's not everyone initially. For example, the Florentine construction company that Guido's father has used for
That the ones that put in the sink in the kitchen.
Yeah, put in the sink. And before that, he worked with the construction guy's father, no?
Yeah.
So it's 2 generations that they've been working.
Leolino.
Let's see. and your father has done, he always says, I've done 85 bathrooms. No, how many?
92.
92. Okay.
Like that.
Let's be precise, Yeah, but because they have these properties that they were renovating. So can you think 92 bathrooms? That's just the bathrooms. I mean, he's done roofs and things. So Guido's father has a lot of experience in that, but they've used this company. And, they were, in fact, Guido rang them straight away and he was so sweet. He said, oh gosh, if I could, I'll try and see if I can come to where you guys, and Guido were like, bring your wife, bring your kids, we can host you all. And
multiple hour drive. So
yeah. But this is the thing, it's not everyone. I mean, when you work with, when you work, what your parents have told me is that with this particular group and this person, working with him, you ask for something, he tells you, if he can't do it, he can't, and if he can, he does, and he's punctual and he gets it done.
And he does it by hour, and obviously he could quote and be paid more and get margins, but they work like that. So.
And he's booked out. He's booked out for years.
Yeah, he said, I'm booked out until the end of the year. But I don't know.
But that's some hope to say it's not everywhere in Italy. I mean, there are some people who are...
He was happy to try and find a way and willing to try and find a way to
But as you
come here.
As you were saying before when you were yelling and you're saying it just doesn't... I don't know, tell us what you think. It doesn't pay to be decent. I mean, we tried to do right by this person, always just appeasing him and saying whatever, yes, okay, we understand, we didn't make any demands, we fulfilled all of his demands, and it doesn't pay off. I wonder whether you have to be, when you work with people, just be uno stronzo dall'inizio, però non è il tuo modo. And I've always been the same. I prefer to be friendly with people and try to come to a compromise so that...
You know how many people do these jobs?
How?
They get a firm, and get the best one, with very high quotes.
Yeah.
They do the job 90%. Then they find, I don't know, an excuse to not pay.
Yeah.
They stop the job. They finish it with someone else, and they just don't pay the job.
Yeah.
And this is what happens because on the other side of this situation, there's also bad payers.
Sure.
But people that have worked with me, my father and me, know that we will always pay on the spot, on the dot. So that's something that should have a value. But you're right. We have to go back to a culture of work. Work is decency, not something that you have to, from which you have to gain the maximum and possibly not work. So
you deal with companies that go bankrupt all the time for your job. That's
the problem is that I work in bankruptcy procedures, and many of these companies that have gone bankrupt in the building, in the construction sector, is small companies, 1 or 2 or 3 people, maybe two brothers or whatever, that were doing their job properly, earning the right money, doing, let's say, i lavori che riuscivano a fare. They got greedy and started, I don't know, building a skyscraper or whatever, and then they got sucked in something they couldn't manage, and they just went bankrupt because they had in the big projects, you have so many problems that can come out, and if you don't have enormous shoulders and you can't afford paying twice as subfornitore, fighting for a legal sue from someone that worked for you 2 weeks or stuff like that, you just fall apart.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I've worked for it. And so my suggestion also was to this other builder that was, I felt that he was feeling diminished by just doing by hour his job and wanting to do something bigger. I was trying to explain him that was his most efficient, but as technically as a consultant, but no.
He got offended also that there was a part of the pool that he wanted to do the job.
I asked obviously a quote also to him for doing the pool. But to do that, you need equipment, you need a team of builders that work in the same place at the same time.
Yeah. Italy has so much, there's such a rich culture and just so much here that the world is in love with and is willing to pay for. But if the Italians are not going to be a part of the workforce, then what will happen? No?
Someone else will do it. The managing class, both politically and maybe also in some companies, are the result of what we were saying before, a system where not the ones that work more and more clever get there, but the ones that are furbi.
Or have contacts.
Or have contacts. So when you get into a system and you see that who wins is the one that has contacts, sleeps with the boss, or I don't know, is clever and cheating and cutting corners. You, if you want to get to that point, you start thinking, okay, what do? I learn to do that, or I do what my neighbor of desk that is 10 years that's here doing properly his job in an excellent way but is always stuck there. You go with the system if you want to escalate it. Come si dice? Se vuoi scalare the system.
Yeah, if you want to ascend.
Ascend in the system, you follow the rules of the system.
Yeah.
And the system is this, unfortunately. So it started, and it's the result. It's not that you say, oh, politicians are bad. Politicians are the result of the society. So we have a problem in our education, in our culture, that makes the clever, not the clever, the furbi.
The cunning,
The cunning, the winners, that's the main problem. You should make the clever ones, the ones that put the best and
so it's not even a question of cleverness. I mean, it's a fact of people who have integrity, no? People who have integrity, who do things with sincerity, with honesty, no? And like you said, it's actually it's an admired trait if you're able to cheat the system and cheat how you cut corners and things and still make money out of people and
not go to jail
and not and avoid jail. I mean, but then to be honest, I'm sure everyone watching this is saying, no, in our country we have this corruption or this sort of these problems. So there is no perfect country for sure, and there's certainly a lot of wonderful things about Italy. There are certainly a lot of values that still exist in Italy, but I just think that in terms of the workforce, it's, I don't know, it seems to be getting worse, no?
We have in the other farm Romanian workman that is fantastic and I don't think we would ever find an Italian guy
as good as him. Yeah.
Or I would even say Spanish, French, English, German.
Yeah.
Morto un papa, se ne fa un altro. Quindi se si può cambiare il papa, si può cambiare anche il muratore.
Sì.
Però this will delay the job.
Anyway, but there's someone coming tonight to give another quote. Maybe. This is the guy who said...
Maybe.
He said he'll give us a quote a while ago. If you want to move to Italy, find a job where your clients are not Italians.
Come to Italy.
Yeah.
Don't renovate a house. Just find it already renovated, because otherwise you will go mad. You can't trust contracts, first of all, because you can write the best contract in the world, but the court system doesn't work. That's it. No. We are at African level, with no offense for Africa. Really. So if you in Australia, England, US do something, say that you're doing something and then you don't do it, or you cut corners or you cheat, you will never work again. In Italy, the ones that cheat, they'll say the opposite of what they do, go up the social class, become the politicians, the heads of companies and stuff like that. So that's the difference.
But surely, even if you're winning in the system, at some point you have your conscience and you go to bed at night and you think, gosh, I really took advantage of that couple, that family, that poor person who...
You heard a gist of these guys in the same village were laughing and trying to cheat a pension person.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
The only real disappointment that if we knew 10 months ago, I would have booked the Florentine guys, and with 10 months anticipation, they would have come, and now we would have been building the bathroom. And so that's probably the main disappointment.
It's not a big deal, honestly. Who cares? There's many people with real problems. This is not a real problem. No. This is why I love learning how to do everything yourself, because first of all, it makes you better at hiring people because you know what is involved.
Chi non sa fare non sa comandare.
Esatto, esatto. And then also in a case of an emergency, you can do it yourself, and I just love that sustainability. I mean, I wish we could I'd happily learn how to do plumbing or electrical work. I mean, it's...
Now materials are gone crazy.
Sì.
Polyurethano, that's all the plastic that is used in tubes for plumbing, is 200% more expensive than last year.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So, with this light heart and this...
La dolce vita.
Così non potranno più dire che sei troppo positiva sull'Italia.
Ma vedrai, cioè they will right now, go back to your country, what are you doing?
If you don't like it, go away.
Non ti lamentare, stronza.
Ti lamento io che sono italiano, lascia fare.
No, but the truth is,
No, ma io non oso immaginare uno straniero... che io conosco la gente che qui, conosco il sistema, so come funzionano gli italiani e comunque rimango fregato e costa un monte di soldi. Non oso immaginare uno straniero che arriva e dici che magari è anche abituato a dei costi dei lavori che sono più alti là.
I mean, we're talking about a one-bedroom cottage. It's like, how does it take so long? Come to Italy, just make sure you have remote work and...
The house, there are many houses that have been partially 90% restored.
Sì.
And then come dice il proprietario e l'azienda, tutti falliti.
Sì.
Quindi, buy that.
Ma come si fa a capire se è fatto bene? Perché cioè, quelli che vendono le case... They lie, you know.
Yeah, we're talking about...
Parliamo di agenti immobiliari, no?
Don't trust the first
anyone. Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust the first opinion, don't trust the seller, don't trust come si dice, l'agente immobiliare.
The real estate agent.
You need someone that has already gone through that problem in that area where you want to buy. And so you might be able to avoid or get in touch at least with the honest contractor that can, because there are people that are really honest that just come to you and say,
where are they? Do you want to say if someone has a European, like if they have an EU passport and they want to come and work here, can they?
Yes, definitely.
We'll provide you with accommodation, food. You can bring your wife, or you know. Sorry, if you might, female builders as well. You can bring your spouse. You can bring, but you can't if you don't have a proper visa.
Partita IVA e devi essere legalmente in Italia.
Sì.
Per lavorare.
Sì. Yeah, if you have skills, we've got work.
Yeah.
I'll just work on getting everything that we're going to get. I'll get all the materials.
So if the people that come from Florence, they will have everything.
Everything will be ready.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll order it all. That's the thing. He wasn't even doing that. I mean, if he's going to charge with his prices, I mean, fine. I can do my job and my normal job. You can do your normal job, and I'm not there on the phone for 5 hours a day calling people and sourcing all the materials. No, it's fine. It's a part of the adventure. And then,
as in all fairy tales, there's a drama. There's a wolf. This is the commercial transaction that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Whatever. It has obviously effects on my wife. That
me,
so
Io, you're the one who's been screaming for the last 4 days.
I felt that things were falling apart.
But it's fine. It's fine. Do you know what? It's actually come at a good time, because I'd rather this than going every day, walking on eggshells, trying to make him happy. I'll go and make us some delicious things to eat.
I want an ice cream.
I'll make you a smoothie. Is that okay?
With what?
I have some frozen bananas.
And?
Spinach. It'll be delicious, amore.
And?
Trust me, it'll be delicious. You wait here and I'll go and make it for you.
Okay.
Ciao. Ciao. Sorry for complaining. Sorry.
Now, that's another art of Italians. If you don't complain, you don't get anything. So you have to make drama. You have to complain. You have to say, if the bathroom is not finished, I'll die. My wife will leave me and stuff like that.